I'm here in front of the Internal Revenue Service building in Washington, D.C. Of course, the center of activity at this time of year. April 15th, tax filing deadline. Based on our data this year, there won't be quite as many Americans who are angst-ridden about their taxes as may have been the case in some years past. Look at the numbers here. Is the amount of tax you pay too high, about right, or too little? 46% of Americans say it's too high, but actually that number is down, one of the lowest that we've seen since we've been asking this question. Let's go back in history a little. The high point for this question was back when Richard Nixon just came into office, back in the spring of 1969, when 69% of Americans said the amount of taxes they paid was too high. Fast forward to 1999, Bill Clinton was president. We had 68% of Americans saying the amount of taxes they paid was too high. That number dropped off significantly in 2003 and 2004 when George W. Bush's tax cuts had been enacted. Then it went up a little, but again now down to 46%. By the way, 61% of Americans, that's a clear majority, say that the amount of taxes they pay is fair. And that's one of the higher numbers we've seen in a few years, although not the highest we've ever seen. Let's go back to World War II when Gallup first started asking this question. At one point back in 1944, that was a couple of months before D-Day, you'll remember, we had an overwhelming majority saying the amount of taxes they paid was fair. Maybe at that point Americans felt their money was going to particularly good use because, of course, the U.S. was in the middle of the war fighting Germany and the Japanese. I'm Dr. Frank Newport, editor-in-chief of the Gallup poll.